Wisdom says I'm nothing, but love says that I'm everything. And it's between those two that my life unfolds.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining me here today on Shamen Yoga. Did not have a video upload last week. Started a new occupation. We're back in the swing of things. Today we will be doing a upper body workout mixed with yoga flow, some breath practice, and a meditation to cap that all off. So grab your mat. Recommend possibly grabbing a block to prop up on your seat, and we'll get started. Just coming into a hero's pose to begin. If you need, you can use a block. Just come onto your, sit on your heels. We'll begin with some kapalabhati, skull shining breath. Just to kind of give an explanation of this breath pranayama practice, we'll be focusing solely on our exhales. So, having your mouth closed, breathing in and out of your nostrils, you're going to have a force of your exhale. With that, you're snapping in your belly as you push out your air. The inhale will not be our focus. You're going to let the inhale happen naturally as the rebound from the exhale. So, a quick demonstration. And it's not that you're not inhaling, it's that you're letting the inhale happen naturally while focusing on the exhale. Each breath, snapping your belly back towards your spine. And this breath, you're relaxing your throat, and you're letting your breath come up through the top of your skull, and it's kind of a focus from your dantian, your center of your belly, right under your belly button, up to your crown and your third eye. So we'll do 3 rounds of this kapalabhati breath. Our first round, if you're uncomfortable kneeling, you can just come to a cross-legged seat. We'll just have our hands on our knees, and we'll begin. Taking a deep inhale. And exhaling out through our mouth. Here, letting your sensations normalize, breath, calm. Our next round, we're going to interlace our hands. Palms will be facing outwards, and then you're going to reach your hands up towards the sky. You can have your biceps along your ears. It's like you're letting your armpits, the center nerves. I'm not an anatomy expert, even though I'm a yoga teacher. Pointing outwards, interlacing our hands facing up, and beginning. Snapping that belly, focusing on it, exhales. Breath is going out through your nose. You can match whatever pace feels comfortable for you. If you start to get lightheaded by any means, slow down. You don't have to force so much breath out. Taking a deep inhale, holding and exhaling out through your mouth, letting your hands return down to your knees. sensations that are starting to stir throughout your body. In this break, we're not controlling our breath. And for our final round, we're going to go ahead and bring our thumbs to the center of our palms. Fold our hands over. It's as if we're making fists. We'll reach our hands up and we'll continue with the kapalabhati breath. But this time, each time we exhale, we're going to snap our elbows into our ribs. It's not so much force that we're putting any pressure against our ribs that is painful. And it's still with the same practice of the exhale focus. Exhale, that raising of our fists back up is that natural inflow of the inhale. So we'll begin. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, deep breath. Let it fill your lungs. Exhale out through our mouth. From here, we'll come up onto our hands and knees. As you plant your hands, having that ankle flexion, you can kick out your feet behind you. Let the blood return. Noticing any perspective changes, emotional changes on that breath practice, any physical changes from our breath. As we begin with some movement, we'll go ahead and just start with a cat-cow. Hands planted firmly under your shoulders. Your knees are directly below your hips, about hips distance. As we inhale, dropping our bellies. Exhale, tucking your tailbone, curling your spine, tucking chin to chest as if you could look at your belly button. Here where you can match your pace of breath. Again, you don't have to follow me. This is your practice. You can move through whatever you're called to. Inhaling, tailbone tucks. No, tailbone is not tucking. Belly drops, tailbone's lifting up, gazing forward, shoulder blades are rolling back onto our back. Here we tuck our tailbone, curling our spine. The movement starts from our tailbone, extends through our spine, chin tucked. As we come back into cow, opposite motion, the tailbone begins the back bend into the cow position and then unfurling through the rest of our spine. Coming back into our tabletop, hands and feet still planted firmly under us. We'll plant our right hand more in the middle of our mat, right under your gaze. Go ahead and turn to our side, extending our left arm up, opening up that rib cage. Pulling our left hand through as if we can reach out towards past back out. As we pull through, we exhale. Inhale, we lift to the side. Exhale. After that final exhale, switching the plant of our hands. Left hand's planted firmly under our gaze. If you can, you're putting weight distributed evenly between all of your digits of your fingers. You kind of want an L shape between your thumb and your index finger. And if you can, you're not curling up your hand at all, but you're planting firmly, having a strong chain between your hand and your shoulder. As we extend, opening up our right side. We're pushing down into the ground, reaching away with this top hand, curling through. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhaling. Inhale, exhaling. Inhale, final one. Exhaling. Planting both hands back to the ground. We'll go ahead and take the top of our right hand. I'm going to put our back of our hand on our mat. Just go ahead and rock back and forth. Aiming to stretch out our wrists. So we'll have a lot of chaturangas and variations of push-ups in this practice. If that's too much pressure on your wrists, please make any necessary modifications. You can always skip a part, use your knees. Be mindful of where you're at today. Still honor the fact that you showed up for your practice. Planting that right hand back down, switching to our left bone. Back of the left is on the mat. Begin to rock back and forth. Just stretching, find your edge. Not putting any painful pressure into our wrists. Just warming your wrists up. Take our hands and we'll point our fingers back towards our knees. If this is too much, you can do one at a time or come out to a little more of an angle. Here you can rock back and forth. If that's too much, you can just stay planted. Putting our hands back towards the top of our mat. Hands will plant firmly, and we'll step our feet back into a plank position. Here, your heels are hiding behind the lines of your legs, pushing back through your heels, not letting our tailbone hike up, but keeping a firm line through our core. Shoulder blades are planted on your back. If you can, keep your core engaged. You can push out into your shoulder blades. Hands are still planted firmly, like the demonstration from our wrist stretch. Gaze is slightly forward. Holding a firm plank, we're using just as much as our core as we're pushing down into the ground with our hands and reaching back to our heels. Still focusing on our breath. Feeling the shaking, the heat starting to build. That is a sign that you're developing strength. From here, keeping your elbows tucked into your sides, coming down into a chaturanga, it's a halfway push-up, and then coming up into a cobra or an upward dog. Breathing into your spine. Cobra pose would be having your legs and your knees straight back, but your knees are still on the ground. Upward dog is pushing even more into our hands and lifting those knees off the ground, finding a back bend. Depending on how warm we already feel, it's a beautiful day here. It's not always this warm during the fall in Wyoming. Just taking advantage of getting to be outside for this practice. Loving it, whether we're inside, outside. Ready and excited for this practice, or just grateful enough that we even showed up. We are tuning into our breath, aware of our thoughts, not letting our attention become distracted by the stories, by the flies. As we meet in downward dog, if this is feeling extra tight in your hamstrings, you can go ahead and walk your dog out. So we'll be coming up onto your toes, bending opposite knees. If you feel that tightness, you can keep that slight bend in your knees and focus more on pushing through your hands. Biceps are curling forward next to your ears. That bend in the knees and that push of our hands lets our chest come back towards our thighs. As we start to open up, then from that point you can straighten your legs out. Heels are reaching towards the ground. From here, we'll begin with like the same motion in our cat-cow, starting at our tailbone, keeping our shoulders protracted as we roll through to plank, back into downward dog. Opposite motion, the tailbone starts, extension back, our core, hands, feet, back line of our body engaged. Inhaling, coming forward, rolling through the spine into your plank pose. Staying steady, exhaling, coming back into downward dog. From here, if this is comfortable, you can come onto the backs of your feet. So be tucking your toes under you. If that's too much, staying with bottoms of the feet planted and then rolling into cobra upward dog. But if we took the variation I suggested at first, be backs of the feet on the ground, rolling through, back into downward dog. This is a lot of pressure on tops of your feet, so don't take this variation if that's too much. I'm struggling with very uneven ground under my mat. Quite a different spot. So then I will go with the second variation. Coming through, upward dog. take a moment, you can sit back, shake out your hands. When you're ready, finding your hands back on your mat, going back in your plank pose. Your breath will have some strain. You want to maintain steadiness, making sure you're not breathing too far up in your chest, and still having deep belly breaths. Using that same tuck, pushing back into downward dog, stepping up or hopping to the top of your mat. You'll inhale, halfway lift, exhale, forward fold. Again, if your back is tight, keeping slight bend in your knees, letting your head go. It feels rolling off your shoulders. Chest is tucked into your thighs. And go ahead and you can either keep your hands planted. If you want, Adagustasana, I believe this is called. So you're going to take the backs of your hands, will be on your mat, and slide your hands under your feet. If that's, depending on the length of our arms, everyone's got a different anatomy. Every single pose we do will look different for each human. You can have that slight bend in your knees if this is a lot for your extension in your arms. From here, we're going to kind of come in up into a halfway lift as much as possible. As we forward fold, we'll bend our elbows, let our chest come into our thighs. Inhale, halfway lift, forward fold, bend into your elbows, letting your back go. Releasing our hands and bringing your hands up to your hips and slowly letting your spine roll you all the way up into Tadasana. Hands are reaching down towards the ground. Shoulders letting go of any tension in your jaw. Focusing on your breath, finding that Ujjayi breath. Tongue is slightly touching the back of your teeth, lips pursed softly, breathing in and out through our nose, and our breath is guided through the back of our throat as if we were hearing ocean waves. There's a bit of effort with Ujjayi breath, but it's the sound of waves coming in and out of our body as we inhale and exhale. It's as if we had our mouth open, the type of breath we would use to fog up a mirror. But while having our mouths closed, inhaling and exhaling through our nostrils, our natural air filters. This helps regulate the nervous system. And breathe deeply with our diaphragm as intended, filling up our ribs from front to back, a whole 360 breath. You should be able to feel our breath into our fingers and our toes. With practice, interlace our fingers. Again, having our palms extended out, reaching our hands up. Feet will stay planted firmly. Go ahead and take a side bend to our right side, stretching that left side body. Three deep breaths here. Inhaling back to center. Bringing our hands, we'll keep that same cross, so whatever finger you had on top will be the same one we have here. We're going to reach our hands down behind us, as if we're pulling our hands back down, letting our front line bodies open, our chest, our hearts towards the sky. Reaching down, we'll go ahead and come into a forward fold. If you have to, if this is too much, you can put a slight bend in your elbows. Otherwise, we're letting our arms extend up above us while we do this forward fold. Letting stress, tension pour out the tops of our heads. So we're squeezing our forearms and our triceps together. You can either unfurl up into Tadasana if you need. Interlace your fingers, hands to hips as you come back up. Taking one breath. Switching to interlace your fingers, so whatever finger you had on top last time, switching that. I will have my right index over my left now. Extending our palms out, reaching up towards the sky, taking the side bend to the left. The interlacing as far as our bends and our forward fold doesn't matter as long as we switch sides. Behind our back, keeping that same finger we just had through our side bend, pulling our fist back, letting our heart shine, coming into a forward fold. Go ahead and lower our hands, stepping back into plank position. Core, taking your tailbone, rolling back into downward dog. Here, as long as we feel comfortable, be curious, play. If you fall, don't beat yourself up. This is a practice, not a perfect. You're going to keep your left hand planted firmly. Both feet will remain to where our heels are tucked behind our feet. So as we look back towards our feet, we're not seeing our heels. And that's making sure that we're keeping a strong base with our feet. Left hand stays planted firmly. We're going to slowly come up onto our right fingers. So your way is distributed towards your feet and that left palm, making sure that we're not putting any extra strain on this shoulder, that we're still maintaining that peak of our downward dog. As we come up on our fingers, if you want, you can start to slowly lift that right palm away. And we're trying to focus on not letting our hips misalign too much. With that right hand, you can reach back towards that left heel, calf, ankle. So much like our side bends as we did with our fingers interlaced, we're stretching out that left side body. Turning that right hand. You need to take a moment, you come down on your knees. Otherwise, tenting up onto your left fingertips, making sure that we're planted firmly into that right hand. And start to lift your left hand up. And we'll reach back, grab on the right side leg. Turning that hand down to the ground and letting our knees drop. Taking a moment, coming back to our breath, and shake out your hands. From here, go ahead and come back onto our hands, step back into a plank. Now we're going to take our left hand, touch our right shoulder. We're trying not to let our hips open out, but we're keeping a super strong core. Right hand is planted firmly. As we take our left hand back down, we'll take that out towards the side of our mat. Come down into a push-up. Your right elbow staying tucked in your side. Left arm in a wide push-up variation. Left hand will come back to the mat. Switching sides, taking your right hand, touching your shoulder. Right hand plants out towards the side of the mat. Push up. Switching sides as we bring our right hand back in. Left hand up to shoulder. Outside of mat. Push up. Left hand returns. Right hand to shoulder. Wide push up. If you need to, come onto your knees. Left hand up to shoulder. Extending out. Push up. Return hand. Right hand to shoulder. Extended wide. Push up. As you come back to plank pose. Taking one last breath. Coming back to downward dog. From here, depending on our experience level, you can drop down to our forearms. I'm going to let my hands maintain my strength as I let my forearms touch the ground. Feet are still back in the downward dog position. So we're still keeping back lines of our legs strong. And this is called dolphin pose. So we're still keeping the rest of our downward dog, but from a forearm variation. From here, putting a bend in your knees, using your left hand first. You're going to slowly, without letting your knees come off too much off the ground, about an inch, keeping our butt down. You're going to walk back, bringing your elbows towards your knees in a commando crawl. As we come forward, using the left hand first again. This time, right hand will start first, keeping knees down, butts not hiking into the air, crawling our forearms back to our knees. Right hand begins as we move forward. Left hand. Left hand begins. Right hand. Left hand for our final round. Keep with it. Right hand. Holding the forearm plank and letting our hips drop. From here, we'll go ahead and extend our hands back. Whew. Also need a breather. Lifting our feet up off the ground, reaching our hands back as if we're flying away from the strain of those commandos. Returning to the ground. Next inhale, coming back up. Exhale, back up. Exhale. Planting your hands on the sides of your rib cages, backs of your feet, still on top of your mat. Coming up into your back bend of choice and lifting back into downward dog. Drawing your hands back towards your feet. Come into a forward fold. You need slight bend in your knees as you unfurl up. Tadasana, hands reaching down. Finding homeostasis with your breath, your perception, your thoughts, and your attitude, or lack of attitude. From here, we're just going to come into ragdolls. So, feet will come out a little wider than our hips. We're not holding the tension of the Tadasana at this point. So you're just letting your hands go. And we'll begin by slowly turning to our left side. And it's as if our hands are just free weight coming down to our toes. As we come into a forward fold, we're twisting towards our right side, coming back up, shoulders dropped. Our legs are strong here, but our upper body is loose, flowing. Matching whatever pace feels comfortable for you. You want, as you roll up, with careful attention, you can let your neck roll back as long as that feels comfortable for you and there's no extra pressure on your neck or spine. As we come up on the right side next time, go ahead and switch sides. Now dropping towards our right to begin, twisting over to our left side, holding up. hands reach towards the sky. The opposite normal, coming down into our forward fold as we exhale. Inhale, halfway lift. From here, we'll walk our hands out to plank pose. We're going to go ahead and drop down to our left forearm, right forearm, left hand plants, right hand plants. Right hand drops, left hand drops, right hand plants, left hand plants, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left. Final round. Coming back up in your plank, you're gonna rock onto the tips of your toes. Still in plank, but we're extending it out past towards our planted hands. Staying strong. Back into our downward dog. From here, keep our right hand planted. Left hand or left foot will be planted. This time, we're going to go ahead and begin in this three-leg dog, extending that right foot back. It's more about the amount that we're pushing back over how high we are. Strong back right foot will tint up onto our left fingers. If that's enough, stay here. Otherwise, begin to reach that left hand forward, staying in the downward dog position. The rest of our body are 2 points in contact with the ground. If we fall, try again. Left hand returns, right foot back on the mat. Switching sides, our left heel back, extending strongly back, tinting up onto our right side fingers. If you feel comfortable, extending that right hand forward. Might be a little wobbly here, it's okay. Hand foot return to the mat. Sticking up towards the top of our mat. Forward fold. Inhale takes you to your halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Up into Tadasana, hands lift towards the sky. Back down into our forward fold. Stepping back into plank. From here, we're going to go ahead and tilt onto our left side. Come into a side plank. Stacking your feet together. Wrist is still directly under that shoulder. If you need, you can bring that bottom knee down or offset your feet behind you. If you're looking for a little more, feet will be stacked together. Right hand extended towards the sky, reaching out as much as you're putting pressure with that left hand into the ground, lifting up your left side with your obliques as much as you can, as if you're pushing your hips up towards the sky. From here, extending that top hand out over our head, up, reaching right hand under, staying strong, facing towards this right side, extending that right hand up, over our head, up, under, reaching back, up, extending forward, up, under, up, holding for one more breath, returning right hand, switching sides, stacking heels together, taking the variation we did last time. Otherwise, coming into our side plank, right hand's firm, right knife edge of our foot is holding strongly, twist it up, letting our heart shine. Left hand extends over our head, up, pulling away, through, up, over, up, through, up, over, up, through, up. One more breath. Embrace the wobbles. Plank pose. From here, come back into a downward dog. Diesel! Diesel! Dogs. He's playing. That's what he's doing, right? From our downward dog. Dropping your forearms down to the ground. Coming back into dolphin pose. We're almost done. In our dolphin pose, we're still extending our chest back towards our thighs, opening up those arms. It's a very deep stretch for our shoulders and our arms. We're going to take a sip of water. From here, we're coming forward, letting our shoulders stay above the lines of our hands, taking that sip of water, reaching back into dolphin, tailbone reaches back. Slowly coming forward, back, forward, back, inhale, exhale, final one, exhale, coming back over the dog, dropping knees to the mat, shaking out our wrists one final time. Magnus! Smile for the camera. Why you fighting? Why you fighting? It's okay. Did you hurt your paw? Lay down? Lay down? Oh, good boy. You want belly rubs. Go ahead and find our way to our seats. Up, no itching. No itching. Up, your ball. We'll extend our feet. In Dandasana, staff pose. Strong in our back line of our legs. Hands come to our sides. Tall spine. Extending our hands towards the sky. Coming into a forward fold. My hamstrings are very tight. It was leg day at the gym this morning. So I'm using the backs of my hands to create a slight bend in my knees, but also bring my calves away so it's not as deep of a stretch. We want to let our lower back stretch, decompress. As we feel comfortable with that, at that point, stretching our legs and our hamstrings out more. Coming out of that full, bringing our heels, feet to the ground, boots towards our heels. Go ahead and lay back. Knees pulled into the chest, hugging your knees. Here, extend your left leg out. Slowly taking your hips to the right side of your mat. Wrapping that top right knee over the left side. And then we can come in any variation of your arms if it's comfortable. What's most important is that our shoulder blades remain grounded. So we're not pulling over to one side unless that's too much. Otherwise, both shoulder blades are in contact with our mat. You can extend that right hand out. And extend the left arm out. I like to keep my left hand on top of that right side thigh and hip. Help open up my lower back, my head. It's just a little indicator, a little pressure. I'm not pulling myself into the twist. Letting gravity do the work. Bring that right knee back up. And back on your back. Bringing both knees in. Extending your right leg long. Wrapping your left thigh and hip over the top of the right. Again, keeping both shoulder blades on the ground. I'm not as open on this side. So, for both of my shoulder blades to be on the ground, my knee does stick up in the air still, that's fine. It's more important that we stabilize our back. Our spine is our channel of nourishment in our body, from our head down to our organs, our nervous, our blood cell, or our blood vessels. As we work with that, keeping that left shoulder blade planted, start to let gravity take effect. That knee does slowly work its way towards the ground here. Left knee comes back up. One final hug of the knees in your chest. Squeezing everything tight. Take any other final poses you need. Otherwise, letting your legs extend out. Finding your way into Shavasana. begin to bring sensation back into our bodies. You can take a deep breath. Sigh out. Find your way back on your seat. Find your way up to a seated position, closing your eyes down again. We'll take a moment to just be meditation. The sky of our thoughts. View the practice we've just moved through. The day before. For the days to come, slowly guiding your attention back to observing the thoughts. Breath and that attention guide you towards subtler yet deeper aspects of who we are. Today, asking yourself, what am I ready to let go of? Ready to let in. You may have answers flood into you. The answer may be distant. Just staying curious, asking yourself these two questions. Come into the rest of our day, and we find that moment, those answers, just working towards letting this practice guide us into that expansion and contraction of the things we are needing or willing to let go of, and the things we are wanting to let in. It's okay if you aren't finding the answers. But with that, thanking yourself for showing up to this practice today. Thank you for practicing with me. Namaste.
Corners of the mouth lifting to the sky. That's called a smile.